I mean, we could do a phone since like we like the operating system in the Tesla. It's like it's Linux based, but we've written a massive.
All right, let's be real for a second. If you're buying a phone for your parents, what do you actually care about? You want something safe, easy to use, and not dying on them in the middle of the night, right? But if you're grabbing a phone for yourself, maybe you're in college or working that 9 to 5 grind, you probably want insane speed, killer camera, and internet that just works no matter where you are. And here's the kicker. Right now, we've got two totally different worlds colliding. On one side, the iPhone 17. Sleek, shiny, crazy, expensive, the luxury bag of smartphones. On the other, the Tesla Pi phone, Elon Musk's wildcard move that's literally shaking up the game. So today, we're not just doing the usual spec sheet comparison. Nah, we're digging deeper. Why is the iPhone 17 always so damn pricey? What makes Tesla Pi phone actually practical? And which one is better for grandma in Texas or that 22-year-old college kid in California who lives on TikTok and Starbucks? Let's dive in. Now, don't get me wrong. The iPhone 17 is a beast. It's rocking that A19 chip, crazy, smooth display, top-tier camera system, all packed into a body that feels like jewelry in your hand. But here's the thing. That price tag? Over $1,000 easy. And that's not just because it's better tech. Nope. You're paying what we call the Apple tax. See, Apple runs this massive global machine. We're talking Foxconn and Pegatron factories in Asia, pumping out millions of units. But these aren't cheap little assembly lines. They're high-precision, high-cost operations. Apple demands perfection, and perfection costs money. Then add in the Apple stores. Ever walked into one? It's basically like a tech cathedral. Minimalist glass, genius bars. The whole vibe screams premium. But guess what? All that real estate and staff. Yeah, that's baked into the price of your iPhone. And marketing? Oh man. Apple spends billions making sure when you think phone, you think iPhone. Slick ads, influencer campaigns, launch events that feel like the Super Bowl. That ain't free. Then we got R&D. Apple's pouring cash into designing new chips, building custom cameras, developing AI features, refining iOS every year. It's a crazy cycle, and someone's gotta foot the bill. Spoiler, it's you, the buyer. So, yeah, iPhone 17 feels premium because it is premium, but part of that premium, you're literally paying for Apple's brand, their stores, their marketing, their perfect little ecosystem. And Americans have a name for it, the Apple tax. Now here's the catch. For young people, flexing that shiny iPhone is still a vibe. It's like rolling up with Air Jordans. It says something about you. But for older folks, paying over $1,000 for a phone that dies halfway through the day or drops signal when they need to call family, that's rough. Imagine your grandma trying to FaceTime the grandkids and the battery just nopes out. Not cool. All right, so here's where the shine kind of wears off. Apple's out here selling the iPhone 17 like it's the second coming of sliced bread. But when you actually start using the thing day to day, man, it's not all roses. First up, let's talk battery life. Apple loves to throw out those fancy numbers during keynotes. Up to 30 hours of video playback. But come on, who's actually sitting there watching non-stop videos for a day and a half? Real talk. You throw this phone into the real world, and it barely lasts a full workday. College kids pulling all-nighters on TikTok, or parents running errands, paying bills online, and trying to FaceTime the family. By 6 p.m., the battery's already screaming for mercy. I mean, imagine your grandma in Florida just trying to call her doctor. And the phone's dead before dinner. Not cool. Then there's connectivity. Look, we're in 2025, and somehow the iPhone 17 still drops Wi-Fi like it's 2012. Picture this. You're working from home. Routers full bars. Your old iPhone 12 is chillin' fine. But the iPhone 17? Boom. Connection gone. Restart. Reset. Reconnect. Nothing sticks. It's like Apple forgot people actually need their phone to stay online, and it's not just Wi-Fi. Folks on Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T are all saying the same thing. The new iPhone randomly loses cell signal while the older models stay solid. That's not just annoying. That's dangerous when you rely on your phone for navigation, emergencies, or work calls. Durability? Don't even get me started. The iPhone 17 looks slick, no doubt. But sleek doesn't mean strong. The finish scratches if you look at it the wrong way. Seriously. People are seeing marks on the back after just a couple days. And that deep blue or black version? Yeah, it's basically a scratch magnet. Even MagSafe chargers are leaving scuffs. You drop $1,000 on a phone, and now you gotta hide it under a chunky case just to keep it looking decent. That's rough. Meanwhile, Apple's official answer is basically, use a case. Like, thanks Apple, real helpful. And then there's the little software gremlins. Camera app freezing, animations lagging, random app crashes. They're not huge disasters, but when you're paying over $1,000, the last thing you want is your phone acting like a $200 budget Android. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Nothing game-breaking, but super frustrating. Now, here's the wild part. Apple knows about this stuff. They're already rolling out patch updates, dropping those iOS 26.1, 26.2 fixes. But users are still complaining the problems don't fully go away. And if you've been around long enough, you know Apple's playbook. They'll polish it up slowly over months while you're stuck with the bugs. Meanwhile, you already dropped your hard-earned cash on day one. So yeah, the iPhone 17 is beautiful. It's powerful. It's Apple. But once you get past the hype, you're left with a device that scratches too easily, drops connections when you need them most, and runs out of juice faster than your patience. For young people, it's annoying. For older folks, it's straight up stressful. Nobody wants grandma calling tech support because her $1,200 phone won't stay connected to Wi-Fi. The story of the Tesla Pi phone isn't just about another tech company jumping into the smartphone market. It's about Tesla looking at the game Apple has been playing for more than a decade and saying, we can build smarter, leaner, and cheaper. And they had the tools to actually do it. The first secret weapon? Tesla's factories. Unlike Apple, which outsources almost everything to suppliers in China and then slaps its logo on the finished product, Tesla already owns massive, state-of-the-art gigafactories. These places were built to pump out electric vehicles with precision robotics, advanced supply chains, and economies of scale that most companies can only dream of. So, when Elon Musk said, "Why not build phones here too?" it wasn't a wild idea. The infrastructure was already humming. The same robots that weld car frames can be adapted to assemble titanium smartphone bodies. The same battery tech used in Teslas can be miniaturized into the Pi phone. By repurposing existing lines, Tesla cut out the billions Apple spends on separate production chains. That's why the Pi phone's price starts far lower without cutting corners on materials. Then there's Starlink. Normally, adding satellite internet to a device would skyrocket costs. Apple hasn't touched it because they'd have to negotiate contracts, build deals with carriers, and pour billions into R&D. Tesla? They already did the heavy lifting years ago. Starlink is up and running with thousands of satellites circling Earth, covering rural towns, deserts, even oceans. Integrating it into the Pi phone is basically just a software handshake. Tesla isn't reinventing the wheel. They're plugging into a system they already own. For Apple, that kind of feature would add hundreds to the price tag. For Tesla, it barely moves the needle. And let's not forget marketing. Apple spends more than most Hollywood studios to launch a single iPhone. Billboards, commercials, celebrity endorsements, you name it, they've done it. Tesla's approach, almost the opposite. They don't need glossy ads when Elon Musk himself is a walking headline. A single tweet from Musk gets more attention than a Super Bowl ad. The hype machine around Tesla is fueled by fans, not billion-dollar ad campaigns. That means another massive chunk of cost just disappears. Put it all together. and you see the bigger picture. Tesla builds phones in the same factories that build cars, saving billions. They integrate Starlink, a project already funded, without passing costs on to the customer. They skip traditional marketing, relying on Musk's cult-like following to do the talking. All of this means the Pi phone lands with a price tag of just $789. Compare that to the iPhone 17, which can climb past $1,500 if you want the Pro Max with decent storage. Apple charges more because every part of their process bleeds money. Outsourcing, advertising, flashy retail stores, while Tesla trims the fat. So, when people ask how the Pi phone can be both cheaper and tougher than the iPhone, the answer is simple. Tesla isn't playing Apple's game. They're rewriting the rules with assets they already control. The Pi phone was born not from hype, but from strategy. And that's why, at under $800, it already feels like the smarter buy. If there's one complaint iPhone users have had for over a decade, it's battery life. Every keynote, Apple swears they've optimized power efficiency, but in reality, people are still walking around with chargers stuffed in their bags, MagSafe packs stuck to the back of their phones, and anxiety every time that little red bar shows up. The iPhone 17, for all its sleek design, is still rocking a battery that struggles to last a single day of heavy use. Apple brags about 30 hours of video playback, but once you actually game, scroll TikTok, or use 5G nonstop, that number tanks fast. Tesla looked at this weakness and said, "All right, let's solve it once and for all." The Pi phone is rumored to pack a 6,499 milliamp hour battery, nearly double what you'll find in an iPhone 17. That's not just a bigger number. It's a lifestyle change. With Tesla's battery management tech, borrowed from their EVs, the Pi phone can last up to 5 full days on one charge under normal use. Imagine a phone you can take camping for the weekend without even thinking about plugging in. For students pulling all-nighters, travelers hopping time zones, or professionals living on Zoom calls, this isn't just an upgrade, it's peace of mind. And then comes the charging speed. Apple proudly offers 40-watt fast charging on the iPhone 17, reaching 50% in about 20 minutes. Tesla, they said, hold my beer. With 120-watt wired fast charging, the Pi phone can go from 0 to 100 in just 15 minutes. That means by the time you grab a coffee, your phone's already good to go. And let's not forget 50-watt wireless charging, fast enough to make Apple's MagSafe look like dial-up internet. But the real kicker? Solar charging. Yes, you heard that right. Tesla integrated a mini solar panel tech that extends usage when you're out in the sun. No, it won't replace wall charging completely, but if you're hiking, road tripping, or just chilling outdoors, that sunlight can add hours of juice. Combine that with Tesla's advanced battery chemistry, potentially even aluminum-ion cells in future models, and you've got a phone that's not only powerful, but also eco-friendly. And here's where the Pi phone goes from great to game-changing: Starlink connectivity. Apple still ties its users down to carriers: AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, networks that drop signals the moment you leave the city. The Pi phone breaks free by connecting directly to the Starlink satellite grid, already covering 150-plus countries with thousands of satellites in orbit. That means you can stream, call, or work from a cabin in the woods, the middle of the desert, or even a boat in the Pacific. No SIM card, no roaming fees, no searching for service screen. Just pure uninterrupted internet. And the best part? It's free. When you buy a Pi phone, you get lifetime Starlink access included. No hidden fees, no $30 per month data plans like Apple pushes through carriers. For Apple, offering global internet would require partnerships, negotiations, and subscription models. For Tesla, it's already built into the ecosystem. So let's put it side by side. iPhone 17, slim design, small battery, expensive data plan, carrier restrictions, Tesla Pi phone, massive multi-day battery, lightning fast charging, solar backup, and free global internet anywhere on Earth. At that point, the comparison almost feels unfair. The Pi phone isn't just a smartphone, it's independence in your pocket. When you put the iPhone 17 and the Tesla Pi phone side by side, you're not just comparing two devices, you're looking at two completely different ways of thinking about what a smartphone should be. Apple's philosophy has always been about style first. Every year, the iPhone gets thinner, lighter, and more polished. The bezels shrink, the cameras look sleeker, and the ads promise the most advanced iPhone ever. It's all about that luxury feel, that sense of exclusivity when you hold it in your hand. But behind the glass and aluminum, there's a catch. Apple often sacrifices practicality to keep chasing aesthetics. Small batteries, fragile frames, and sky-high prices are all part of that trade-off. Tesla, on the other hand, doesn't play by those rules. Elon Musk built the Pi phone with the same mindset he applied to cars and rockets: durability, performance, and long-term value. Forget about shaving off millimeters just to say it's the thinnest phone yet. Instead, Tesla went for grade 6 titanium, the same material used in aerospace and medical industries. This isn't just about looking good on day one. It's about looking good after years of use. Drop it, scratch it, or toss it in your backpack with keys, and it's still gonna hold up. Meanwhile, many iPhone 17 users already complain about scratches on the aluminum frame after just a few weeks. Then there's pricing. Apple's entire model depends on keeping margins high. Outsourced factories, massive ad campaigns, retail stores in every fancy mall, you pay for all of it when you buy that iPhone. That's why a Pro Max with enough storage can run you over $1,500. Tesla flipped the script. By using existing gigafactories, skipping traditional marketing, and leaning on Starlink integration, they cut production and distribution costs dramatically. The result? A phone that competes head-to-head with the iPhone at half the price, just $789. But what really highlights the difference in philosophy is how each company views its users. Apple designs for customers it wants to impress. Tesla designs for customers it wants to empower. Seniors appreciate the Pi phone because it's reliable, big battery, strong signal, easy to use anywhere. Young people love it because it's convenient, fast charging, solar backup, and no more stressing about data plans. Apple, in contrast, still ties its users to carriers, accessories, and upgrade cycles. Tesla hands you a device that feels more like freedom than a phone. At the end of the day, the iPhone 17 is a beautiful piece of tech, but it comes with strings attached. The Tesla Pi phone? It's not just a gadget, it's a statement. A statement that smartphones should serve people, not the other way around. And that's why so many believe it's not just another competitor. It's the beginning of a shift in the entire industry.